Hey everyone, what's going on? Hope you're all doing great and ready for something that's honestly pretty exciting if you've been following Wreckfest too. The new update just landed, Update 4. And man, it's a big one. This one really feels like a step forward, not just in content, but in how the game feels when you're behind the wheel. You know those updates that seem small on paper, but then you play for 10 minutes and realize, okay, something's changed? Yeah, that's what this one is. So let's break down what's new, what it changes, and how it's reshaping the whole experience out there on the tracks. So, first things first, we've got this brand new feature called Crap It Customization. And it's not just a funny name, it's one of those how did we not have this sooner kind of things. Basically, it lets you add layers of realism to your cars. You can throw on rusts, scuffs, faded paint, scratches, all that good stuff that makes your car look like it been through hell and back. And the best part, everyone in multiplayer can see it. So if you're the type who likes your car looking like it's barely holding together after a demolition derby, now's your time to shine. It's not just about making your car look dirty or damaged, it's about telling a story with how it looks. You can roll up to the grid and look like a survivor of 50 races instead of a showroom model, and that's just such a cool vibe for a game like Wreckfest. Now let's talk about new content, because yes, they've brought a new track and it's a big throwback. Crash Canyon 2.0 is here, and if you've played the original Wreckfest, that name probably sparks a few chaotic memories. This new version is kind of a reimagined take. It feels familiar, but it's sharper, more detailed, and somehow even more punishing. The way cars funnel into those narrow sections, the chaos of debris flying everywhere, the chance that one bad bounce can send you flipping into a wall. It's everything that makes Wreckfest what it is. And there's a new ride to test it all out with too. The Buggy, which has this European folk racing kind of personality. Light, nimble, but not too twitchy, which actually ties nicely into another huge part of this update. Because under the hood, this update does a ton of work on the handling side of things. We're talking about higher resolution tire simulation, more precise suspension behavior, and all sorts of tweaks that make the cars feel more natural on the limit. You'll probably notice this most if you tend to drive the smaller, lighter cars, those ones that used to feel like they were on edge all the time, kind of twitchy and unpredictable. That's smoothed out now. You still get all the chaos and contact you expect, but it feels more controllable, more grounded. The suspension updates are especially noticeable when you're hitting bumps or curbs. Instead of the car snapping out of control, there's more give and flex. It reacts the way you'd expect a real car to. It's subtle, but after a few laps, you can't miss it. Throttle control has gotten some love too, and I think a lot of players will appreciate this, even if they don't think about it consciously. The low RPM throttle response used to be a bit binary, kind of on or off, especially with certain engines. That's been tuned, so now it's more progressive. It feels smoother, easier to modulate. So if you're driving with a controller or a wheel and trying to balance throttle mid-corner, it's less likely to bite you. And for those of you running manual clutch setups, there's a bit of realism added. You can actually stall more easily if you're sloppy with your starts. It might frustrate some people at first, but it adds that little bit of authenticity that makes getting it right feel rewarding. And if you've ever noticed how slow your car was to start when stuck in a higher gear, that's been cleaned up too. Another cool bit is how visual damage looks and behaves. The detail in the deformation system is sharper now, so panels crunch more accurately, and collisions leave more convincing marks. Plus, they fixed that weird issue where lingering damage from a previous session would sometimes carry over when restarting. No more random bent fenders at the start of a clean race. It's one of those small fixes that makes everything feel more polished. Speaking of polish, let's touch on multiplayer. This update makes some big strides in how the game handles online synchronization. There's now a proper server-side jitter buffer and better timing alignment, which basically means what you see when racing online should match what others are seeing much more accurately. The days of that split-second desync where you'd swear you were clear of someone but then suddenly get punted should be far less common. On top of that, the game's quality of service system has been improved to help you get matched with servers closer to your region automatically. So if you've ever found yourself stuck in a lobby halfway across the world with lag all over the place, that should happen a lot less. Performance-wise, it feels like the devs took a deep breath and decided to just optimize everything. Car loading times are down, input handling feels snappier, and the game now supports extreme resolutions. So if you've got triple screens or some ultra-wide setup, you'll finally get proper scaling and positioning without those weird stretched menus. They've even reduced VRAM usage on lower resolutions, so it should run smoother on mid-range systems too. It's one of those behind-the-scenes improvements that you don't think about, but you definitely feel it when you play. The AI has gotten a bit of a personality tune-up as well. In lower difficulty settings, they've been softened a bit, so novice and amateur levels are less punishing for newer players. They start cleaner, take turns more predictably, and are less prone to that aggressive lunge into corners that could ruin your race in the first few seconds. But at the same time, they're also smarter in how they prepare for jumps or position themselves before tight corners, so they feel more natural to race against. Audio has been another area of subtle but noticeable change. The mix has been rebalanced, and the new starter motor sounds give each car a little more identity. You'll notice more punch in the exhaust and engine notes, especially in cockpit view. It feels heavier, meatier. There's that extra layer of immersion that makes you want to keep revving the engine just for the sound of it. And while the UI changes are minor, they clean up a few rough edges, especially around the garage and customization screens. All of this came together in the update that hit Steam on November 3rd, and it's already getting a lot of positive reaction from the community. It's one of those updates that makes you realize how close this game is to feeling complete. Not finished, but refined. You can tell the devs are paying attention to the right stuff. The feel of the driving, the online consistency, the sense of progression and identity with the cars. If you haven't tried it yet, here's what you should do. Hop into your garage and open the crap eat section first. Play around with it, add some dirt, maybe a few scars, and just see how much character it gives your car. Then jump into Crash Canyon 2.0 with the new Buggy and see how that lighter car feels with all the physics changes. You'll feel the difference almost immediately, especially if you push it hard through the tighter sections. It's a perfect showcase for how the game's evolved. Not just prettier or faster, but smoother and more responsive in a way that makes you feel more connected to what's happening on screen. What's cool about all this is that Wreckfest 2 doesn't seem to be chasing big flashy features just for the sake of marketing. It's more like they're fine-tuning the soul of the game. That messy, unpredictable, metal-twisting chaos that makes every race a story. Every crash means something. Every lap feels alive. And with updates like this, the game keeps building on that foundation instead of just stacking gimmicks on top of it. So yeah, that's what's new in Wreckfest 2's latest update. It's not just another content drop. It's one of those updates that subtly changes how you experience the game without losing what makes it special. It's more polished, smoother, better balanced, and more immersive. Whether you're in it for the online mayhem, the realistic handling, or just to see how much damage your car can take before it gives up, this update makes the game feel more complete. And honestly, it's a reminder that Wreckfest 2 is shaping to be something really special. It's holding on to that unique identity, a proper blend of chaos and control, and now it just feels that much more alive. So fire it up, test the new track, wreck some metal, and see for yourself how much better it feels. I promise, after a few laps, you'll know exactly what I mean.